Hello, my name is James, and I'm a grateful recovering addict and alcoholic. This is my live stream at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, weekdays and possibly weekends now as well, 7 days a week again, because I may have just lost my job due to the wreckage of my alcoholic past haunting me. We'll talk about that in a second. Well, we'll talk about it right now. The wreckage of our past. First of all, I recognize this term, clearing the wreckage from our past, from the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. So I've found that on the... All right, let me gather myself here. Let me just gather myself here. I had a great day. I've been having great days, and I probably should have remembered this too shall pass, because just like bad days, good days too shall pass. That's how you know the bad ones will pass. Recently I got a job as a security officer. I love the job. I walk around the zoo for 7 hours twice a week. At night, I'm alone in a zoo. Chillest job I ever had. And I was loving it. Didn't pay great, didn't pay horrible. But it was a step back in the right direction and a step back into the workforce. One of the reasons I've been so hesitant about applying is there's always the criminal history section and then also the job history section. Both of mine are not very employable. As you may know from watching this channel, I drank and used drugs for 25 years, and my life had become unmanageable, partially in ways of with the law. What's up, Alex? How are you doing? Well, if you're not doing well, you might feel better after you hear about my day. Long story short, I've been working a job twice a week at a zoo. It was awesome. Best job I ever had. Air conditioned for 7 hours. 3 times during those 7 hours, I walk around the zoo. It's a half an hour walk. If I don't want to just chill. What's up, Noah? Let me sum this. Well, let me tell you the short story. I got the job that I like. I'm back in the workforce. I'm slotted to take peer support specialist certification course in September and ease my way back into the workforce and help addicts for a living. And I was loving it. And I got back from my meeting half an hour, 45 minutes ago. I've been waiting for my law enforcement registration, to be able to work as a security officer. You take a class, they do a background check. I told them about my speeding ticket because all of my misdemeanors, I've never had a felony, but I've had a slew of misdemeanors in my life due to drinking, acting up, everything from criminal contempt to trespassing to drunken disorderly, resisting arrest. And this one happens to be Petit Larceny. Now, I don't remember a lot from my drinking days. I drank a lot, blackout almost every time. But like I've told on this channel with over, damn near 1,000 videos at this point, I have tried to share my experience with the hopelessness of addiction, alcoholism, and the wreckage of our past. So I had done time served in a county jail in 2011, which means that basically means they were expunged. There was 5 misdemeanors expunged. So I didn't put that on my application, and all was well. I felt like all was going well. I just got a letter. It has come to our attention that on this date in 2015, you pled guilty to Petit Larceny, blah, 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 city court. First of all, I wasn't living in this town in 2015, but it is a town, it's my hometown, and it is where I vaguely remember a petit larceny. Petit larceny. However, to my knowledge, everything was expunged, and I wasn't living in the state of New York when this charge is claiming to have. So I'm vexed. This means they're going to deny my registration for law enforcement security guard officer. So the job that I absolutely love right now, that is paying my bills just barely, is most likely gone. Tomorrow I'll probably receive a phone call from the company saying your registration's been denied. So this is a blow to one's self-esteem. You know, you try to move on from your past. You try to recover. You try to do the next right thing, and something like this pops up. So I was vexed. I still am kind of upset. I really liked where this, I mean, it's not a job I wanted to do for the rest of my life, but it could have been a part-time job because I absolutely loved it. So easy, air conditioned, animals, chilling, alone, paycheck. So I may not have it anymore, and I have to clear the wreckage of my past. I have to look into this. The FBI is getting my fingerprints, and they're verifying this, that, or the other thing. For all I know, my despair, my troubles, tomorrow they could just come back and be like, you know what, we made a mistake. This was over 10 years ago, therefore you can still qualify. I don't know, but instead of receiving my badge or my registration, I received a letter for denial because of my past. So tonight's topic is clearing the wreckage of our past. I'm going to read from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. The first 164 pages haven't changed since 89 years ago, the 30s. The first 164 pages. The wreckage of your past paragraph is literally the last paragraph on all of those pages. It's on page 164, the very last page of the Big Book before the personal stories. And I'll read it now. Abandon yourself to God as you understand God. Admit your faults to Him and to your fellows. Clear away the wreckage of your past. Give freely of what you find and join us. We shall be with you in the fellowship of the Spirit, and you will surely meet some of us as you trudge the road of happy destiny. May God bless and keep you until then. That's the very last paragraph of the 164 pages of the Big Book, which haven't changed. It's just it's a crazy coincidence. Noah says, were you more obsessed to get drunk feeling or more obsessed of getting a drink down? Drunk feeling. Or a drink, it doesn't matter. Once I got the drink in my stomach, that was the beginning. What's up, Bob Bulgy? I had an electrical instructor named Bob Bulger. Yeah, tell me about it, Shades. I really like this job, man. It's 14 hours a week, which allows me to work on this YouTube channel, which my metrics are going up, and I'm getting back into the groove of things. I'm working out every day. I'm eating right. I don't have much money, but it's working. I'm working on the channel, and during Saturdays and Sundays, I go and chill at the zoo for 7 hours apiece, and man, is it chill. And man, was I just very grateful and happy for that part-time job, because now I have to wait till September when I get my peer support specialist certification. And, you know, that nothing's guaranteed. That's still up in the air. Bad Country mentioned something like this in one of his videos about his past drinking coming back to cause problems with his current residency. Right, the wreckage of our past coming back to haunt us. Now, I'm trying to say, I will say, I am saying, God's will be done. I have enough experience with bad things in my life and stuff to where I realize that this could be a blessing in disguise. It's very evident to me through history that things like this can turn out to be one, you know, it could be the best thing that's ever happened to me. I don't know how. Its power is greater than myself at work. However, it's frustrating. I really, I mean, I'll be at the job and just be like, I love this job. I've never really done that before. I've just been like, I love this job. It's so easy, so chill, no pressure, you know, oh man. But I even like the drive back and forth. But like I've said, when times are good, you never know. You never know what God has in store. So this might be a blessing in disguise. What's up, Cats for Life? Boo is right. The past is haunting me. Boo. What's up, Michael? How you hanging in there? Chore Bunny. Introverted, extrovert. I'm an extroverted introvert. From my understanding, introverts recharge by being alone. Extroverts get their energy by socializing. I'm kind of both now AA has given me the gift of socialization, of true connection, of my fear of people leaving me, humility, which should have been the topic tonight, humility and pride. Pride goeth before the fall. If you look at my community tab on this channel, I post the AA Daily Reflections every day. This is the 7th month, so it concentrates on the 7th step and the 7th principle, which is humility. Pride, I guess, is the opposite of that. So, yeah. AA is also teaching me that what I want is not necessarily what I need, and what I want has gotten me drunk, and what I want has gotten me in trouble. So I'm not really sure how this is going to go. I do know I had some kind of fear in my heart about it, because when I got the envelope out of the mailbox and felt that there was no card in there, I said, oh, because I was like, this is a letter and I don't think I'm going to like it. I had thought that my misdemeanors had been expunged or whatever. I'm not a lawyer, but I know that when I served 45 days in county jail for those charges around 2011, the alternative was get out earlier and do drug court and still have the charges. And I'm like, and you have no idea how much I wanted to get out of that jail. But I stayed in there for 45 days and got time served and got 5 misdemeanors expunged for this very reason. So they wouldn't follow me around. Yes, Noah, start off with the big book. AA, everything AA app. You can read the big book right now. Start with the big book. That's your answer. Take it, run with it. The meetings, you can go download meeting guide app, and you can go to a meeting tonight or tomorrow. Do both. Dude, let me just put it like this. This past and every relapse in my life, I've been essentially recovering since I basically, alcoholism is a self-diagnosis because only the alcoholic can be honest enough to know everything of how it really is. And when I was 18, I don't know how long ago, damn near, more, 26 years ago, I said I'm probably an alcoholic. So I've been essentially recovering for 26 years. But this past relapse, I was miserable after I'd stopped drinking, and I realized I had started drinking again because I was miserable. I had forgotten that the solution is Alcoholics Anonymous, and I was pacing around my kitchen saying, what is the solution? I'm miserable. What am I going to do with my life? There is some wreckage. And I remember there's a chapter in the big book called There Is a Solution. So yes, every answer to every question you have, Noah, is in the pages of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Maturing you are. Okay, Yoda. Yeah, well, I'm introverted, which is partially why I like this zoo job. I get to the zoo, the people of the zoo, the animal keepers and the zoo staff are there. I get there at 5. They're all out of there by like 5:45. So I get to see some people, and then I'm locked in the zoo alone for 7 hours. I have the keys, and I am. So I love it. It's introverted. I get to chill. There's no energy drain. And it's not 8 hours, it's 7 hours. I love it. So, but I have learned without a doubt that what I want sometimes can be the problem. So even though I don't see how this could have been a problem, there still is the realization that just because I want it doesn't mean I have to have it. And it doesn't mean I'm entitled to it. All right, Noah, read the big book, buddy. And going to a meeting. Oh, you're going to a meeting right now. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Leave me a comment on this stream later, and I'll see it about how your meeting was. That's what I'm talking about, buddy. Suppose each of us are unique to how and when we mature and evolve. Yes, absolutely. We're all human, but we're all different, personality-wise and trait-wise. Yoda. Correct you are. So boom, big bummer in my mailbox. So nice of a job to get. It was an ease back into the workforce. Now I'm back to, well, I don't know yet. That's the other thing, is projecting. There is only now. All that we know is in the present moment. We don't know the future. So for all I know, this doesn't have to mean the end of the job. It most likely does, but so to waste energy being bummed about it, and I'm glad you guys are here to help me express this because I'm now working through it. What's up, Bob A? Yeah, I was gonna call him. I was gonna call Bob A. my sponsor, Bob A. Bob A. So I will. Thank you for that advice. Keep going, you will. I'll be right back. I gotta let my dog in. All right, come on. Yeah, Bob A has a point. There could be a way to approach the people at the zoo. Bob A, I don't work for the zoo. I work for a contracting security company, and in order to do that, it's my understanding I took the class, law enforcement class, to get my registration, and until I got the badge in the mail, which probably would have came today instead of the letter, I had a temporary registration. So yeah, I will call my sponsor and talk to him about this, which I was gonna, I called my sister instead. I don't know why. But I was planning on calling my sponsor. Bob A, I appreciate it. And obviously Bob A is my sponsor. There's Bob A, everyone. But, well, I mean, I don't know. But I appreciate it, Bob. And, like I said, the program, recovery, maturing, growing, learning, has taught me that projecting is futile. Being bummed about it now is futile, even though I have a letter that says you are denied. You don't have to, you didn't freak me out. I just don't know how to handle some things about anonymity and whether or not you would like your identity to be skimbly bimbers. But I'm not freaked out, but I appreciate it. So this is an example of how a sponsor can benefit you in your sobriety, especially early sobriety. Support, you know what I mean? And chances are they've gone through something like it. Breakfast for dinner. I agree if someone said that. Can you tell your company how much you love it? You never know. There might be a different role or grace that they can make an exception. Yeah, it's true. And this is dealing with the wreckage of your past. So if I was drunk, I obviously couldn't do this. That is why putting down alcohol is the first step. But you can't clear the wreckage of your past if you're drunk. So there's a good point. But you're absolutely right. And like I've said before, I won't tell you to go to AA, but I will tell you my experience with it. And my experience is Alcoholics Anonymous has a solution to all of our problems, one of which is acceptance. So I'm human. It got me frustrated because I've been liking the job and the way my life has been going. However, I have crumbs of new tools in my life, one of which being acceptance. Okay, this is happening. Anger and acceptance don't really go together. You can't really accept something and still be off the wall angry about it. So that's a good thing to learn from this. Another thing is these challenges do come in sobriety, whether it's early, late sobriety, or experienced long-term sobriety. Challenges do come, but in early sobriety, these are lessons. What did you learn? Remember how our teachers and our parents used to ask, what did we learn? You know what I mean? Well, acceptance. What could I have done different? I mean, I imagine I could have paid the money for a criminal background on myself and given them the dates and times of my slew of misdemeanors. But I still think that I don't know. I've had 3 sobriety dates, 4 now over the past decade, one of which was January 1st of 2016. This was January of 2015, which means there might have been a chance I was drinking, but I don't think I was in New York. But I also think there's a chance that one of the charges, maybe I missed a court date or something because I was drunk in 2015 and in my current location, so I didn't go to a court date, and maybe that's a guilty charge. I don't know. This is another reason why the alcoholic can't drink. I wasn't there. I wasn't there to handle whatever phone call or whatever letter I got. I wasn't there to be able to drive to New York. I wasn't there. Chances are either that or there's a clerical error or some kind of error. God willing, that's the case, because as far as I know, the only charge I've had in the past decade and a couple years, since 2010, as a matter of fact, is a speeding charge on my birthday in like 2019. A speeding, it was like 12 miles over the speed limit, and I put that on my application. But half of me was expecting this because it is a law enforcement security type job, and to think that they're not going to do a thorough background check would be naive. I knew that they would, but I also know 7 to 10 years, and they don't really ask for 10 years ago. I also knew I could handle it when it comes, which I will, especially with the support of you guys and Bob, my sponsor. And the spiritual support of the program. My new tools. But to be honest, and one of those tools is you never know. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know. I barely know what the present holds half the time. Well, thanks, Breakfast for Dinner. Shades of Clarity says, I really love this job, and idle hands are not good for my recovery. Losing this job could potentially be a problem. What do you think of my performance so far? Oh, you're saying take this to them. Yeah, I'm honest. And more so every day, fearlessly honest. And with my head up, I saw myself looking them in the eyes and saying, look, yeah, I had a drinking problem, and I'm still, 10 years ago, I wasn't in that state in 2015. So, one of the benefits of the program of Alcoholics for me has been coming to terms with myself, being able to live with myself and being proud of who I am, being humble in the way that I know I do certain things well and I know I don't do other things well. And that allows you to walk, and the power of God allows you to walk and face stuff. For me, believe it or not, even though I do this channel, you might say this guy's extroverted, but I had a fear of people, criticism, opinions. The promises of AA said my fear of people and economic insecurity will leave me, and that has come true. Of course, it's growing and expanding, which is another awesome thing, is these promises don't have a peak. The more you grow, the more the promises come true. I can tell you that from experience. And they don't have like a peak. I can feel that I'll be growing till the day I die. So I'm still learning, but do not be afraid. Like the live stream, my last live stream, do not be afraid. 365 times the phrase "do not be afraid" is said in the Holy Bible. Some would say the biggest of books. And that struck a chord with me because fear, it is said in the book, my big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, fear is the corroding thread that activates all of the alcoholic's character defects. So when I got that letter, fear activated my frustration. It activated my resentment, and I used to resent law enforcement. But since I've been practicing the principle of honesty, I am able to clearly realize that it's not law enforcement, it was me who stole something, whatever it was. Petit Larceny, I can't even remember. Petit Larceny. It's spelled petite. Petit. Get that, Cats for Life. It's spelled Petit Larceny. Yeah. Well, the system, sure. Yeah. The system sucks, I guess. Or one could say now, with acceptance, that the system just is. And that just helps you relieves me of all. I mean, a large percentage of my anger and frustration and despair. And anger, frustration, resentment, despair, these are emotions and luxuries that the alcoholic, the addict cannot have. Without these tools, without my current spiritual growth, something like this would make me give up, get a case of the F-its, and drink and use and give up with some master plan of my own doing. You know what I mean? Cats for Life's bedtime is upon us. Good night, cats. Fact check what, Cats for Life? Good luck fact checking. Facts are hard to find. I wanted to make this stream on pride because I've gone through a couple more, and the faster lately answers to my problems have been coming fast. For instance, if I find myself restless, irritable, and discontent about something, with the program of AA, which is now like 2 a day for me, this is what I'm doing for a living, is going to AA to live. The paycheck is of a spiritual nature, and luckily through memberships and you guys super chats and stuff like that, and I have help that comes in through random stuff. This job was one of them that pays my bills, but as the Bible says 365 times, I should not be afraid. And that's a good tool to have, to realize that. It'll help me sleep. It'll keep my motivation. Do not be afraid. Humility as well. I'm not afraid, to be honest. I I didn't get my way, or at least right now, it seems I didn't get my way. I don't get to keep my job. But then again, I hated seeing those animals in cages anyway. Maybe this is God of your understanding and mine saying, you know, bro, you couldn't go much longer seeing that eagle in a cage every Saturday and Sunday without possibly trying to create a master plan to set the animals free. Oh man. Petit Larceny. Petit. It is pronounced that way. Petit. Yeah, I kept calling it what did I call it? I forgot already. In any case, I stole something when I was drunk, and it's coming back to haunt me over 10 years later. I don't think it was in 2015. I had left the state of New York in 2011. Then there was Fort Lauderdale, then I went up and down the East Coast. And I don't think I was in, the way I'm seeing it right now, it's either a clerical thing where I didn't want to, or I didn't go to New York when I was supposed to, or maybe there was some misinformation or communication, and I was charged for failure to show up for court, or maybe I even talked to somebody on the phone or something and just said, fine, I'll just, you know what I mean? Cheese Machine, what up? Petit. Oh, Petit Larceny. Oh, Petit. I was saying Petit Larceny. Yeah, I think it. Yeah. It's Well, it's spelled P-E-T-I-T. Petit Larceny. I stole a glance at somebody's petities. And I pled guilty. Proud. You know what I mean? In any case, I have 37 paying memberships to this channel. Some of you are here. Cheese Machine, Alex Patience. Thank you. This is no doubt slowly but surely, just like my recovery. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. It is happening, but man, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm grateful. But, I knew I knew I'd have to talk this out. So tonight's topic, clearing the wreckage of your past. I'm still doing it. And as far as I remember, my last crime, was around 2010. So maybe they're wrong, and I'm going to talk to my sponsor. I don't know if you're still here, but I'll send you a text, see if you're still up, and we'll work it out. We'll clear the wreckage of the past. Yeah, after the stream, Bob, I'll give you a call if you don't mind. Which I was planning on doing anyway, you know what I'm saying? I'm not slipping. There's no doubt I was gonna, put a bug in your ear about this. And it'll work out. And even if I do lose the job, it'll work out. It's not like I'm gonna get arrested. It's not like it'll work out. And no, I'm not afraid. I think mostly I'm just disappointed. I really like hanging out at the zoo and getting paid for it. And, that's the gist of it, is maybe I'm throwing a little tantrum because I really like hanging out at the zoo and getting paid for it. And I can't because I stole something around that time. Move country. You know, in one of my meetings today, somebody was talking about geographical solutions that don't work. There's a saying I've ran into in the rooms. It's, that maybe they should put a street sign or a sign on the highway while entering a new town for alcoholics that just says, it's not going to work here either. Because as the old saying goes, wherever you go, there you are. We bring the problem with us. It's not like the problem was in the town we were in. But it's natural to think a geographical change can be a solution. But obviously, they can send you a letter from your old town and say, you still pled guilty to this misdemeanor. I thought I lost one of my jobs over that last relapse for sure, Shays says, but I came clear and I didn't. That's the other thing about doing the next right thing. The next right thing usually produces an effect of the next right thing after that happening. So, I guess mostly I'm just disappointed that I may not have an easy job anymore. But you never know. It just means something different. Or as many believers will say, God has something bigger planned for you. And that has been my experience in the past when these roadblocks come. Through breakups with relationships, through firings and quitting of jobs. And I know you guys have your own stories about this. Maybe you went to look at some houses and you really wanted that house that you looked at, that first house that you looked at. You're like, this is going to be my new house. I know it. I don't care how much I want to pay. I'm going to win this bidding war. I'm going to get this house. Somebody comes in higher than you on the bid. You don't get the house. Next thing you know, you find your dream house a week later. In fact, I was just listening to somebody share about this recently. She didn't get the job she liked. She was all pissed. Her sponsor said, settle down. God's got bigger plans for you. 2 weeks later, she got an even better job. So these things happen all the time. For all I know, the fall of this job might mean the rise of, maybe I'll be an astronaut or, a marine biologist that saves the world. You know what I mean? It's possible. Or maybe instead of securing the zoo because of the fall of that job, another job will rise where I help, I help zoos be honest and clean out their flamingo pool water because it smells like crap and it's the color of the mud surrounding it. And these birds are just crapping in their little puddle and drinking out of the same puddle, and you can smell it from a quarter of a mile away. So, all right, Bob. I'll be off in like 18 minutes. So I'll give you a call around 10. But yeah, you never know. Jobs work. Life works out like this. What's up, Taj Coffee? Beginning of the video. Zoo job, yeah. I'm just a security guard at the zoo from 5 to midnight. 2 days a week. And I get paid just to chill in an air-conditioned booth and walk around the zoo 3 times. Buddy, what's the matter? What's the matter, bud? Yeah, Taj. Yeah, I love big cats too. You know what's depressing though? Seeing them pace in a cage. And every 3 hours I walk by and they're still pacing. And then the next week I go to the job and they're still pacing. That means the entire week that I went on with my life free, as every living being should be, that cat was pacing. And it's right there right now, pacing. So like, you know what? I had my qualms about having to see zoo animals like that. Like for another example, the alligator they have there, it's in an enclosure, and it's in the same position every time. I've worked there for a month. It's been in the same position. The owls, both the owls and the eagle and the birds are in cages. They don't fly. They don't soar like eagles should. And the cats pace. The giraffes seem pretty happy. They get fed big ass tree limbs every day, and they, you know, they look like they're fairly happy. But like, you know, even the pigs, the potbelly pigs, are just like grunting and they're laying around. They, you know what I mean? I don't like zoos, to be honest. And but I was compartmentalizing. I was just taking in the gut. Whether I'm working there or not, there's still going to be zoos. That's how I was taking it. I got to do what I do. I got to do what I got to do right now. If working at the zoo is one of them, sure, it's not a bad job. It's not like I'm helping animals be, you know, imprisoned. I'm just walking around. But yeah, I liked it. But I don't know, Taj, if you heard the part where I just got a letter that says an old haunt from my drinking days might prevent me from keeping this job. And that's the point of this live stream, is when your haunt, the wreckage of your past, comes back and you have to do what you got to do to clear it. Hey, what's up, Miss Hashtag Holly? Be right back. All right, Mike. Miss Ford, I got a letter, you know, about my zoo job and everything. How I love it and blah, blah, blah. I got a letter that says I can't be cleared for security clearance. Might cost me the job because of a 2015 Petit Larceny charge. So it might be an issue that cost me my job. But then again, it might not. It probably will. Was this a different job or like a job promotion or same place? I've been working at the zoo as a security officer for a month. The month has passed, and my security clearance, I just got a letter that said, it has come to our attention that on 1/5/2015 you pled guilty to petty larceny. As a result of the above, your denial of your registration. They're denying my registration. Yeah, I don't steal shit when I'm sober. So yes, it was a drunk charge. It was, if I can remember correctly, which is hard to do, in 2010, I had 5 misdemeanors: criminal contempt, resisting arrest, trespassing, petty larceny, and another one. All misdemeanors. I spent 45 days in county jail, went before the judge, and he said time served, which means they basically go away. Time served, expunged, go away, you know what I'm saying? That was in 2010. In 2015, I wasn't in the state of New York, but it's saying that I pled guilty to petty larceny. Taj had a cushy job like that, not same arena for UPS. Yeah, I hope it works out too, but one thing recovery and especially Alcoholics Anonymous teaches me is that we never know. Trust in God. Do not be afraid. Practice the principles in all of your affairs, no matter what. Honesty, perseverance, service, integrity, faith, courage. These are some of the 12 principles of AA, and it is suggested that if you practice them, and I'm finding out that this is true, then you will grow and your life will be all right. Well, in different states, everything's different. They are denying my security officer registration, which to my understanding, I can't be a security officer at the zoo without it. They're denying it because of a charge in 2015. And I wasn't in that state in 2015, but at first I thought, because this has happened before, there's another James Borkowski somewhere, and first I thought they got the wrong guy, but then it said my hometown, and I'm like, all right, well, they got the right guy, but they might have the wrong year, or something, or they might have everything right and I got it wrong. The point is, with the principles I now practice, and I'll go ahead and read them. These are my code. These are the 12 principles of Alcoholics Anonymous, suggested that we practice these in all of our affairs, and this is one of my affairs. These are the 12 principles: honesty, hope, faith, courage, integrity, willingness, humility, love, discipline, perseverance, spirituality, and service. With faith, there is no fear. I have faith, if not a leap of faith. But ever since my leap of faith about 8-9 months ago, in doing the third step of Alcoholics Anonymous, which is we turn our will and our life over to the care of God as we understand it. Him is the official words. I did that on a leap of faith. That has now turned into a belief. My faith has been, I don't know if rewarded is the right word, restored. My faith has turned into a belief because the leap of faith pays. Not always in the way, almost never in the way that I can predict. I don't recall it, Miss Ford. I'm going to look it up after the stream. I'm going to be talking to my sponsor and figuring it out and practicing the principles in this affair. With practicing the principles, there is no going wrong. This is my belief. It has turned from a faith to a belief. Practicing the principles, there is no going wrong. Even if I don't get the job, there is no good and bad. It's just is life on life's terms. God's will. We were talking earlier, Ms. Ford, about we don't know what's good and bad. Some of the things in our life that we thought were the worst things possible in our lives were over. And I know we all have experience with this. We thought our lives were over, either very shortly or sometime after we realized that it was one of the best things that's ever happened to us. I think everybody has had that one relationship where when the breakup happened, you're like, man, my life is over. I have nothing to live for. That was it. I cannot see going on. Then like a month later, you meet the love of your life. And you think that's it. And when that breakup happens, you're like, shit. I don't think my life's over because of that last one. But man, does it suck. I guess the lesson is this shit happens, but life goes on. Let it be, as the Beatles say, or said. Tomorrow's live stream, I believe I'm going to make on pride. Pride goeth before the fall. I've been really angry lately from let's just say different opinions, and wondering, why am I so angry about this? And why am I so angry about this? And my answer always comes in a meeting or in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. My answer always comes a day. Now that I'm going every day, it usually comes the very next day. The very first thing in the book that will be read at the meeting was my answer. The very first thing that we were reading at the meeting, like I was having a fight with my dad. Remember I told you he had like screwed in my sunblock, and I told him not to mess with it, but he did anyway, and I really wanted to confront him, but I tried something different, and I'm like, why does this piss me off so much? The very next day in a meeting, the very first sentence that was read was, argument and retaliation are the source of the problem, or something. I'm paraphrasing, but my point is, the answers are in the program, and they've been coming quicker and quicker. This time it happened the day after. It happened 2 days after I was wondering why I was so pissed about and Holly, you know what I'm talking about. And Bob A out there, I also discussed it with you. It was involving, let's just sum it up by saying politics, which you know I'm not into. I personally don't believe the affairs of politics. I don't believe I have any place in them. I don't know anything about them, and I don't believe watching the news can teach me either. So I don't take any stance on politics. However, there are politicians that are people, and I do take a stance on people. Let's just say I was feeling unjustified, or injustice was happening. I've always had a passion for justice. Injustice happened in the world of politics, and family members don't have the same view as I did, so it pissed me off. I was wondering why it was pissing me off. I'm starting to find that all of my restlessness, irritability, and discontent at any given time in my life can be traced back to a character defect of mine, usually sparked by fear. This character defect happened to be pride. I happened to be proud of my values, wondering why people didn't see the same thing that I was seeing in this person in politics. And I was proud, and I wanted to speak my voice. It was nothing but pride. And then 2 days after, I was stewing over it for 2 days. In the meeting today, lo and behold, the topic was pride, and that's how I have the answer for you right now. Is I wouldn't have known that on my own power. Power is greater than myself. The program of AA and God of my understanding have revealed to me that it's a character defect of mine that is producing the restlessness, irritability, and discontentment. Pride. Pride and humility don't go together. Humility is basically like, I've been given these things. So my views and my eloquent way of speaking my views is something that I was claiming that I am responsible for having. I am proud of them. This is me, 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 me. That's pride. I happen to have been blessed. You can call it luck. You can call it a gift from God. But it definitely, nowhere in my life did I dedicate my life to being eloquent and having the ability to express values through words and, ideas and stuff like that. But it was my pride. I wanted to tell people how wrong they were about their beliefs. And as it turns out, my restlessness, my irritability, my discontentment has all but dissolved because of that one realization that it's a character defect. If we hold on to our old ideas, the results will be nil. My old ideas, turns out, pride. Pride is essentially saying, I'm responsible for this. I got this out of my own doing. Not God, not AA, me. I did it. And that's false. That's false. Everything I have today is because of handing my will and my life over to the care of powers greater than myself. Being open-minded to other ideas, not my own. My own ideas got me drunk, and in this case, had me stealing shit. And I'm paying for it today. It's lucky. I am grateful that I'm paying for it with a better mind and a better set of solutions. All right, I'm about to be out of here, but I'll read the last comments before we go. JV, John Venturini, we cannot be helpful to all people, but at least God will show us how to take a kindly and tolerant view of each and every one. Very true, JV. You're a wise man. I think I can help these people by telling them they're wrong about their political views and they don't realize this and they don't realize that. Just because I know how to put some words together, I'm going to be the person to change their mind? False. That is a lack of humility. That's not only saying that I am right and I'm right because of me. It's saying you too should believe this. So that was wrong. And now that I know that, I'm not as angry. Bogus charges. Yeah, I mean, it's a 50-50 chance that there's some, because I don't trust people, doing their jobs. People, especially post 2020, don't know how to do their jobs, is my opinion. Little and minuscule as it may be, it's just my opinion. I'm entitled to it. But if you wait 15 minutes for a breakfast sandwich at McDonald's and have to go in the store, park your car from the drive-thru and go in the store, you get to the counter and they're like, who are you? And I'm like, I've been waiting out there for 15 minutes. And they're like, oh. Then they have to make the sandwich because they weren't even going to make it in the first place. You start to realize that people aren't doing their jobs anymore. So if you want to know how to keep your job, one, don't do a misdemeanor 10 years ago and have it come back to haunt you. But two, actually just do your job and you're beating 75% of the competition. But I'm going to wrap it up, everybody. Tomorrow's stream, it's going to be on Pride Goeth Before the Fall. This is a valuable lesson that I'm just now learning. Pride is dangerous. Pride is saying, I got this, I got that, and now I'm going to get this too. And pride goeth before the fall. That is an age-old spiritual teaching that AA also happens to teach. So we're going to discuss that tomorrow. You guys can tell me your experience with how pride has bit you in the ass. One relevant example is like, I thought I was good at stealing things. Now I might lose my job because I stole something in 2010 while I was drunk. That's one example, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. Gotta love them McDonald's breakfast sandwiches though. All right, y'all. If this video brought you value, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone you love. If you didn't like this video, give it a thumbs down and share it with someone you hate. And think about that join button. It helps me pay my internet. And with a couple hundred more members, it might help to pay my bills. Until tomorrow and every weeknight, maybe even every night, going forward at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That's New York time. I stream here with everything in between of addiction and recovery, and addiction and recovery. So until then, keep it clean, keep it real, keep doing the damn thing, and only if it's in line with God's will. All right. Peace.